Well. Back in ye old stomping grounds. Feels good to be back.
Feels good to be back.
I said it to my nephew. I said it to my sister, and she was on speaker with her kids.
Oh, okay.
And my 14-year-old nephew, Miles, he goes, "What are stomping grounds?"
Did you explain it to him?
I had to look it up. I was like, I don't even know that. I don't even know the origin. Welcome back to...
This is TalkBox.
TalkBox. Wait.
Welcome to TalkBox.
TalkBox. Is it the TalkBox or TalkBox?
No, it just has to be TalkBox.
TalkBox?
TalkBox.
Okay.
TalkBox.
TalkBox?
TalkBox. TalkBox.
TalkBox?
TalkBox.
Okay. It can be loose. It can be free.
Okay. TalkBox.
TalkBox?
TalkBox.
Okay.
TalkBox.
TalkBox?
TalkBox.
This is...
TalkBox.
TalkBox?
TalkBox. TalkBox.
TalkBox?
TalkBox. This is TalkBox.
Yeah. That's not bad. That's
Not
pretty
bad
good.
at all. Yeah. Intro.
Nice.
Outro.
Nice. Did
Here.
you like... Hey, wasn't that clean? That produced version that I just made that
Yeah.
we just listened to
That was good.
here on this episode that just played.
Yeah, it was really nice.
Wow.
You're so talented.
I'm like forcing future
I love the
Matchi-
laser sounds in the background with the dinosaurs.
the war drums. The war drums.
The Mongolian war chants. I love them.
The Mongolian throat singing. Oh.
I look like those a lot.
Welcome back to TalkBox.
TalkBox.
I am Mark.
You're. I'm Mark. Hi, Mark.
Hi.
Hi, Mark.
Hi, I'm Matchi.
I'm Narek.
How are you doing today?
Good.
I'm feeling
Feeling
good.
strong.
We're back.
Feeling energetic.
We're back in my apartment, the way things should be.
The stomping grounds.
The stomping grounds, the way things should be.
You are the one that suggested my place last time.
Well, they were doing construction.
Well. They're always doing construction.
I know,
here.
right? You would think- What? Like, when do you call it on construction, right? Like, my upstairs neighbors lived there for like a year. Okay.
Mhm.
Last night, beating on the walls. Like 15 minutes. I was like, I took the broom. I was ready. I was ready to hit the ceiling
They were beating.
on like the wall with like hammers.
Oh, hammers.
yeah, to like nail in stuff.
Probably picture frames.
Yeah. But I was like, they were doing it
Who's nailing picture frames in
around the
2023?
apartment. It was like 10.
Maybe they got modern art
It
that
was
they're
it
putting
was
up.
10 p.m. I was trying to watch an Asian movie.
What was it called?
A Chinese movie. Black Coal, Thin Ice.
Oh, nice. I feel like the whole movie is in the title of the name.
No, not at all. Not at all.
No black hole or thin ice.
Well, yes and no. It's weird because like it's a translation.
It's a dichotomy.
It's a translation. So you have like Black Coal, Thin Ice. There's one like the Wild Goose Lake. There's another. It's like a long day's journey into night. An elephant sitting still. The names are gas.
Yeah.
The names
I
are
was
so
gonna say,
gas.
those are really like, you see the title, you're like, I cannot watch this right now.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. It's so good.
When
I feel
was
like
it made?
2014.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Relatively new.
Yeah. I feel like I'm like tapping into my like cultural roots by watching like Asian movies. Why'd you make that face?
Because they're Chinese.
But they're Asian. They're Asian though.
Sure.
But I think it's like because Asian movies developed, like Chinese movies developed based off of like French art house films in the 60s and 70s. And then like were brought over to China in like the 90s.
So it has different style.
And so it's like
more classical style.
it's like a fusion
Right.
of like Asian cinema with like French experimental cinema.
It's fun.
It's so fun.
Yeah.
It's so fun.
Really looking forward to the new Studio Ghibli movie coming out.
Oh,
Have you seen
December
the-
8th.
Have you seen the preview?
You know.
It looks insane.
I don't watch trailers.
Oh, yeah.
I don't watch trailers.
It looks really crazy.
And here's the thing.
The voice acting cast. Have you seen it?
I'm gonna lose it. You're gonna spoil it for me.
You don't know the cast?
Don't tell me.
You won't know who it is.
Don't tell me.
You won't know who it is. How are you gonna possibly know who's the cast?
Are you talking English or
English.
No, I don't want to know.
Why?
It's big names. It's
Yeah,
always
but
big
you're not
names.
gonna recognize them.
What are you talking about?
They like manipulate their voices
Who is
in a
it?
weird way.
Nausicaa. You're spoiling it.
I'm not.
You are, because now that I know that they have manipulated voices. Nausicaa.
He's such a
Nausicaa,
loser.
the first Ghibli movie.
Sure.
The English dub. You know
Yeah.
who's in it? Shia LaBeouf.
Really? LaBeouf. Wow.
Isn't that crazy? It's
How old
so
is he?
Fun.
He's young, huh? He's one of the kids.
Well, yeah, but it's like they did the dub later.
Oh, okay.
So it's
okay,
like
okay, okay.
he's like
Right,
maybe
right.
like a teen, like
Okay.
even Steven's age,
Even Stevens.
even Steven's era
Prime
Shia.
cinema right there.
Oh man,
TalkBox.
TalkBox. Okay, so today, last week we did the 2 of the segments. We're still ironing it out, but last week we did.
Hot take.
No, hold on.
We did hot take. That was
Last week we did weekly review. Week we did the weekly review and hot takes. So today we're gonna try. This week we're gonna try Inspiration Corner.
Sure.
And maybe we'll hit up Our Lives in Action.
Our Lives in Action.
Day-to-day. How was your week?
Weekly review.
Yeah.
It was good. I think I wonder if I should talk about this now. I came to a recent, not conclusion, epiphany, realization about work.
Yeah.
And it's just really hard to battle with because you'll come across a lot of things you do in your work and you have to make a lot of sacrifices, right? You'll have to sacrifice maybe a job you don't want to do, but you're okay with so that you can make money, but your passion is, let's say, music production, right? Even if it's within the same field, you're not doing exactly what you want to do every day. But you still need to make money. So it's nice. It's healthy to make money. Right. It feels good. So I came to that realization because my workload in terms of the work I'm employed for with like a fucking W-2 form was very light. I'm an hourly worker. And I was lucky enough that week that I didn't have any work, which was odd, probably because it's the holiday season. If you're listening to this, it's November 20th, I think, today. So it's the holiday season.
Nice.
I was lucky enough to have enough mixes and masters that I made up that money that I would have made from work.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Nice.
Which is cool for me.
Yeah.
It's great.
That is cool.
So I feel like I didn't miss out and I really enjoyed it. But the whole point of this weird layout that I'm doing right now, I worked, let's say 4 hours, 5 hours, and I made the same money sitting in my room on my desk doing what I love.
Yeah.
I made the same money I would have made all week at work, full-time, maybe overtime schedule.
Wow.
And I was just like, maybe like a full-time, not overtime, like a full-time schedule, right? I made like enough money that week. It was fine.
Right.
I was like, I could do this all the time. I would love this, especially if you're working with music you want. Yeah. And like a lot of them were masters, which was great. I love doing the masters. It's like, because they're really fun puzzles to solve, but it's also usually doesn't take as long of a time. So you can finish one out in like, let's say an hour or like even 30 minutes. If it's a good mix, maybe 30 minutes to an hour, you can finish one out. The rate for them is pretty good too.
For people that don't know what masters are, can you give me the, can I get the actual Cliff Notes? Can I get the actual Spark Notes this time?
I don't even know the fucking definition. So a master is the final stage of like the process of like releasing your music basically on the more technical side of things. Like you submit it for a mix with a mixing engineer.
Sure.
They submit it to a mastering engineer if they already don't master the songs themselves. It is essentially a way to sort of clean up the mix, get a different set of ears on it, but also introduce loudness to the standard of streaming platforms. So you add a lot of glue and compression through the mastering process with limiting and minimal mix bus compression, which adds that I guess like the perceived loudness and togetherness of the master. It's hard to tell the difference between a mix and master if you haven't heard it. Besides the loudness, besides the loudness of it, but that's essentially what it is. It's like the final step in that entire process.
Okay, cool.
Before you can release it to streaming.
Yeah, and you enjoy doing that.
It's really fun, yeah. Because you get someone else's mix.
Yeah.
So now I'm listening with a fresh set of ears, not to my own mix, which I do 99% of the time.
Yeah.
And I can you have to find a way to not dilute their mix with your vision and enhance it in a way that complements their mix, maybe clean up a couple things, and then add the limiting and compression to whatever loudness or, standards that they have for the song. Sometimes people want songs that are squashed because they like the sound. Sometimes they want limiting very lightly so that they have more dynamics in the song. So it's like folk music, for example. You don't really go heavy compression on folk music because it sort of takes away from all the natural dynamics of the vocals and the instrumentation. And when you squash things, all the sounds sort of even out and come together. So everything sort of sounds in the same playing field. So you don't have a good level of dimension. So like if your violin was sitting in the back and your background vocals are in the back, now everything sort of moves up to the front. So it takes away from the life of the song.
Yeah.
So you have to be very careful. It's it comes with experience. I'm not the best mastering engineer in the world, but I try to do whatever the mixing engineer sent me. I try to do the song justice. And there's always room for revisions. If people want a revision on it, they send you notes for a revision.
They say something that's like, I mean, like you always want to improve. Do you feel like the people you're working with when you're doing masters that it's easy to improve on the mix, or it's like
It depends. It depends what the mix
it's
is.
a loaded question.
Yeah, because you can't separate any of the elements. You can in certain ways, but like it's very hard to isolate vocals in a 2-track.
Right.
And if it's like really loud on this one section, I can't isolate the vocals stripped. You technically can with like a stem. You can like plug in the stems, but you don't want to do that.
It's got like phase.
It has phase issues and like a bunch of other stuff. So whatever you've been given, you have to work with what you have. Unless you want to send, if you have the, credibility or if they let you give notes to the mixing engineer to make your life easier. But most of the time, that's not what it is. It's like they've already approved the mix. So you don't want to tell them like, hey, this is wrong. You just want to do the job. So most of the time I try to think of it, I look at the mix, I listen to it one time through, and I'll be like, okay, how can I enhance this without taking away what they love about it?
Right.
Because sometimes the things that they love about it are things that you don't like.
Right, yeah.
Like it's muddy and dark and it's sort of stuffy and everything is sort of together in
with
the low
folk
mids.
Music a lot too.
Yeah.
A lot of people like the low mids are very muddy.
Yeah. So I try not to take away a lot of the low mids. I introduce a lot of saturation and things in parallel so that I don't tamper with the mix too much, but I add certain elements that I think will balance out the rest of the mix. Maybe very, very light EQ moves.
Yeah.
With like a mid-side EQ, which is an EQ that allows you to manipulate individually the frequencies in the stereo image and within like the middle image, which is sort of hard to describe unless you know what it is. The mono mid information and the side information.
One more question.
Yeah.
So a big thing for creatives is the idea of imposter syndrome.
Yeah.
So do you feel like any of the work you've done this week, any of those songs you were working on that you were like, oh, this wasn't good? Like were there ones where you were like, I can't get it to where I want it to be?
Yeah. One of them, I don't think that had to do with my master. I like the master. I think it had to do more so with the mix, and I could look back and be like, oh, I want to take this out of the master. But the thing with the master is that if you want to reduce one element in the mix, it reduces all the other elements. So if I want to take out the top end of something, it takes out the top end of all the instruments. You're just working with a 2-track most of the time, unless you're doing a stem master, which is essentially a mix, but a little pricier master. But so that happened to me, and I listened to it back and forth a ton, and I was, got the approval of the band, and they liked it. But that's the tone of the song. You know what I mean? Like you could only do so much to improve that. And it's tough. It's not necessarily an imposter syndrome, but I wasn't necessarily happy with my work for that one song because I wanted the final product to be slightly different. Yeah. I like gravitating towards warmer tones. So when things are too bright and crunchy or thin, I try to stay away from that. But it sometimes is unavoidable. But imposter syndrome for like the past 2 years, like for sure. But really? I'm somewhat more confident in what I do now, just because people like the work that I deliver. But like we were talking about on the last episode, you and me both made this out of thin air, completely out of our asses. Right. Like we just told people this is what we do, and then we figured it out along the way. Luckily, we were good at it. Luckily, we were good at it. Yeah. But I have a degree in philosophy. I didn't learn this. In school, I took community college classes, but I was already pretty good when I went to those classes. I was way ahead of most people in that class. Yeah. When we did mix reviews and stuff, my mixes were definitely the best one. Yeah. So it was just pulled it out of my ass.
I helped my friend with a production, and she was going to school and for a production class, and she presented the song that I produced for the final.
Oh, really?
And her professor loved it.
Really?
And it was just the final of the production class. Top of the class was this production. I was like, man.
Plagiarism?
I'm like, wow. It's crazy that I'm top of this class and I don't even go here. I've never set foot in a classroom for production at all.
Yeah, but I think that a lot of people who are going to music school are interested in it. Maybe, I don't know this for sure, but maybe it's their first time being even involved in it. So like they're at the beginning stages of where you were like 2 years ago, let's say, or like 3 years ago. So like you showed me like a little clip of your production like 3 years ago and like where it's at now. You know, it's like fucking crazy. It's like, beep, boop, boop, beep, boop, 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 beep.
But you know, it's not a dig on them. It's just more like a wow, we've come so far. Like
no. I'm
even
saying
working on your own. Yeah, I agree. But I mean, working on your own, it's like it's nice to. I mean, that's like one of the advantages of school, I think.
Yeah.
In my most vapid and egotistical self is that you have the ability to compare yourself to other people.
Yeah. It is. That's a huge part of school. It's like, it's a huge competition.
Yeah.
It's like, who can do better? Who's going to be the best? Who's going to like, you know, who's the professor going to, you know, put on the pedestal? Yeah. And that's who everyone's competing with. Yeah. You know, it's tough. Even law school is like, you're put up on a curve with everyone else. That's how you're graded. You're put on the curve with the top student.
Yeah.
And it's ranked, and like the law firms accept you based on ranking, and like it's crazy. So like schooling is pretty competitive and it creates a bad nature, but always stay positive, be supportive of one another, no matter what school you're in.
But I mean, it's one way to get inspiration and motivation, you know.
It is.
Like,
that's what I'm saying, in a positive way.
Right.
If competition in a positive way, you're support. I mean, we compete with our peers, but we all help each other.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, we all sort of give back to one another.
Speaking of inspiration.
Wait, one thing.
What?
How crazy is that you can make the same money doing what you love? I mean, you need the clientele.
Yeah.
That's this thing. I'm like, okay, how can I get more clientele? Like to have regular clientele on a full-time salary every week for the whole year is crazy. Yeah. You need a lot of clients.
Right.
You know, there's times of the year where it happens and the time of the year where it doesn't.
No, yeah. I mean, to even have that many songs.
To work on.
Like, you know, like mixing engineers, we know that it did like a song a day. Like that's absurd, you know, like that's just crazy to have that kind of workload and to have that kind of consistency.
Yeah.
You know, like
it's tiring. It's definitely tiring. Like it's mentally exhausting if you sit in front of a mix and like if you get a bad mix, oh man, I can't wait to get to the point where like the mixes like gets slightly better or like the productions, you know, the quality. Sometimes you get productions from good producers and engineers and you're just like, wow.
Yeah.
Like, the amount of work is so much less, and you should actually be charging other people more based on the amount of work. Like if it's a bad production and like you have a lot of work to do, you should be charging them more.
It's ironic too because those are the people that don't have the budgets. You know, those are the people that like.
It's also the people you get most frequently. It's also the people that will more frequently hit you up to get their work done because it might not sound as good. They're not happy with it, so they're looking for someone to sort of like fix their issues.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's tough. It's tough doing that. I've done that a lot. It's exhausting because you're also fighting with them in the terms of like, oh, this sounds better. They're like, no, it doesn't. And then you're like, okay, then what do you want?
Yeah.
You know?
I feel like music is such an interesting field to have those issues because songs take so much time.
Yeah.
They take so much time to make and like produce and mix and master.
Especially when
from beginning to end.
When an artist is directly involved in making the decision. Like sometimes a producer will be in charge. It depends who's making the shot. But if it's the artist, if they're busy, you might not hear back for a week.
Right.
And then you get to the revision and then another week.
Yeah.
And then like you're like, oh, I'll finish this song. We'll have it done in 2 weeks. I used to think that we can do songs in 2 weeks, a month. It's like by the time you meet up with the artist, re-record, get the mix done, get their approval, it literally takes like 3 months. Yeah. You don't think it's going to take 3 months. And then you put out the song and you're releasing the song a month before it comes out. So by the time the song comes out, it's a month later. So it's wild how long you have to wait for a song to actually come out.
Yeah.
It really is.
It's brutal.
Anyways, you're saying inspiration? Sorry.
Yeah. I can't segue the same way. You ruined my segue.
I completely botched it.
It was such a good segue too. Run it back. Let me just repeat though. Okay, so first segment, inspiration corner.
Right.
I know that I've had some inspiration this week. Do you have any inspiration that you want to talk about? Wait.
No.
Before we do inspiration
I want to hear your
I'd
inspiration.
love to spice this up a little bit.
All right.
I want you to try this candy.
Okay. Hold on. Let me put my microphone down.
I was in Little Tokyo last night for a photo shoot.
Oh, nice.
And I was at, have you been there?
Maybe like twice.
Really?
Once. Born and raised in Los Angeles.
Yeah. There's a Japanese grocery store.
Oh, nice.
And they have like everything. Like I bought a Japanese soda too. Not like Ramune, right? Because that's like the one everybody knows. I got this one called Mitsuya cider. Okay.
Cider?
Yeah.
Is it yellow?
No, it was clear.
Oh,
it was clear.
No, the can.
It was a bottle.
Nice.
It was clear. It was white.
Very nice.
White and green. But I tried it and I was like, this is just Sprite. It's just lemon lime. But then I tasted it again. I was like, Somehow this
Somehow
is better.
apple, yeah.
Somehow this is better.
Lighter.
Anyway, I bought these super lemon. Hold on. Oh, Nobel.
Is he like moaning? Oh, Nobel.
Oh, Nobel.
Like Noble?
He's like popped it into his mouth. Oh, juicy.
Oh,
Are
juicy.
you ready?
Hold on. Nobel new release. What is Nobel the brand? Oh, it is the brand.
Oh, is it?
Oh,
Nobel.
Super lemon.
It's crazy because you'll experience that this is like nothing
different
like it
candy?
is described.
Oh,
It is not described properly. Go. Wait, Mike. Oh,
Oh, well.
how is it?
Oh man,
It's very sour.
I can't breathe. My throat is closing up. Dude,
Yeah.
it's so juicy. Oh my god. What is this? It's like acid. I'm gonna have acid reflux.
It's a lot, right?
What is juicy about this? Just salivating everywhere. Maybe that's why they call
There's so much saliva.
I almost drooled all over your floor.
It's the same kind of candy where like when I think about warheads,
That's what it should be. That's what a warhead should be. Warheads aren't that sour.
Yeah.
Like that's what a warhead should be. It's called also juicy.
Well, the problem with warheads is that they just kind of
Wow, I
simmer
can
into
breathe.
nothingness, just
Yeah.
sugar. This tastes like lemon.
Yeah, it's nice. It's settled down.
But
Wow, I felt like my lungs shrunk a little bit. So juicy.
when I think of this candy now, I can feel my salivary glands like just activate, like in preparation.
I don't know why you were hiding it from me. I could tell it was gonna be sour.
You did?
Yeah, I thought I was eating a sour candy the whole time.
Oh, I didn't know.
You're like, no, wait. We'll do it on the podcast.
Oh, I guess because it's lemon. The super soda one,
Sour?
also equally sour.
Wow.
I should have got
Soda.
the cola one. I wonder if the cola one was also
Soda
sour.
sounds better.
But
What should I do with this?
we can pop them out.
It's getting sort of soda-y, like sort of like fizzy, yeah. It's good. Nobel. Oh, Nobel. Thank you. Shout out to Nobel.
I feel revitalized.
It has. I don't know why I drank coffee today.
Have you had a Zot before? You know what Zots are? You never had a Zot?
What did you just call me?
Do you know what a Zot is?
No.
Oh man, I've been trying to find them because I've been craving them after the super soda. But these two have, it's like a powder in the middle that fizzes in your mouth.
Like those dusty candies.
Like
that
a
you pop?
Zot. Yeah, exactly like a Zot.
No, I haven't had it.
Oh.
I can get it for you though.
There's one
For Thanksgiving, Christmas.
there's one store in Washington.
Yeah.
The gas station next to my house has Zots.
I'll figure it out.
I remember, this girl one time pulls up because you buy it in a string of 4.
Oh, okay.
Okay, she pulls up to this is like middle school, a concert, reaches into her blazer pocket,
Oh, nice.
like 16 Zots, just hangs them down, like
Dangling them in your face.
like she's dealing
Dealing
them.
$5 a pop. You wasted your weekly allowance on Zots.
They're so gas though.
I'm sure they're great.
I wanted to bring balut to your Thanksgiving dinner.
No.
Do you know how dude? I want to.
You can't.
I want to.
You can't.
Why?
Because there's elderly people there.
Maybe we'll try it
that
on stream.
don't speak English.
Maybe we'll try it on the podcast.
Sure, we
Would
can
you?
maybe do that.
That sounds fun.
It
Yeah.
fucking makes me sick. I'm down with it. I just
What are
can't
you talking
look
about?
at.
It
I
makes you
can't look
sick.
like the thought of it.
Like you haven't seen it. Like you've seen.
You can see a duck
No, but
embryo
you've
in
seen
it.
pictures of it, but you haven't physically.
I know it's good. I know it's good because everyone that has the same reaction likes it. I'm a food guy.
Mhm.
I eat a lot of different kinds of food.
Yeah.
I consistently go out of my comfort zone with food.
Yeah, that's why I want you to try bullet.
Yeah, I regularly eat like the pho that people how people order pho, they put like sriracha and hoisin sauce in.
Yeah.
I don't do that. First of all, second of
on.
all, I don't get like only the good cuts of beef. I want the fucking dirty pieces.
You
in
get the
there.
tripe too.
I get the tripe, the tendon, the cartilage. We get everything.
What
in
I'll
there.
do? What I'll do is, can I get pho with tripe? Hold the pho. Give me a plate of tripe.
Can I have a plate of raw tripe, please? I'll pay extra.
I'm chewing on it for 10, 15 minutes.
Dude, it's so good. Tripe is amazing.
Oh,
the
the
tendon is
texture-
also
the
the
texture is
the,
so
the
good.
tendon's also really
I
good
don't
and
think I've
chewy.
had tendon.
It's 'cause it's very gelatinous.
Inspiration corner. I don't like gelatin.
Get over
Like
it.
fatty.
You'll get over
sometimes.
it. Yeah,
Like,
yeah. It's not fatty.
Inspiration corner.
It's like eating jellyfish.
This week, I guess the last week and a half, I've been
Yeah.
newly converted
Mhm.
to the band.
Radiohead. Yeah.
Oh
I
man.
haven't stopped talking about it.
So I have stopped talking about it at times.
Yeah, at times.
But a few years ago, I know about Radiohead. You know about Radiohead. They're like
you hear about them all the time.
One of the greatest bands of all time.
I don't listen to them. I've never had.
Right. And like OK Computer is regarded as like one of the greatest albums of all time. Oh. And I listened to OK Computer. Didn't like it that much.
Okay. You're a fan of maybe their other albums.
And then I like stopped trying. A few years later, last week actually, 2 weeks ago, I listened to a different album, In Rainbows. First song on the album is the end credits song in Twilight. And I was like, this is my way in. I recognized it immediately. I was like, Twilight.
This smells like Washington.
And I listened to it. I was like, wow, this makes so much sense.
Yeah.
And then I've gone back and I've listened to OK Computer.
It's a good album.
I'm like, oh man. Do you know that there was a Kendrick Lamar remix on TikTok that blew up a few months ago with N95? But it's they take the instrumental from a Radiohead song called Everything in Its Place. Gas. So good.
Someone should tell him.
It's so good.
You should do it. Milk all the royalties.
They already did it. People already did it. Anyway,
publish it.
Yeah, they're just phenomenal.
You know what
they did this thing. Hold on, let me
Could
say
you publish it illegally?
Yeah, like
how fast do you think it get taken down?
With Radiohead
and Kendrick Lamar.
It depends. If it goes viral,
if no one listens to it,
if no one listens to it, it's just gonna hang out there.
Maybe
like Black Friday, Kendrick Lamar, the J. Cole song that's been on Spotify, and then it gets taken off, and then it gets put back on, and it gets taken off.
Sorry,
but like the Drake and Weeknd AI cover, like that was on Spotify maybe for a week.
Oh, was it a whole week? It was on there
for a decent amount. Wow. But it blew up, so then it got taken
really
off.
Popular.
But one thing I loved about I've just been watching videos on them, and like they did 2 albums, normal albums, and then like the lead singer, this is like 95, 96, 1995, 1996. Okay. Like the turn of the century with technology developing. Dude's like, yo, I just don't like technology. So then they
computers.
They shut themselves off. They come out with OK Computer, and then this guy fucking spirals. because right, he makes this album about like hating technology basically, and like how we're all gonna be reliant on it, and then the album blows up immediately, and like they go from like doing a 400-person show before the album comes out to
they weren't that popular at this point?
They were like big in the UK, but they weren't big. And then like 3 days later after the album comes out, 35,000 person show.
No way.
Sold out, right? And this lead singer is like, I can't do this. Like it's like
I just made an album against everything that we're doing right now.
And so they just like spiraled, and he spiraled, and then they're like, we got to make another album. Yeah. Like they're just like stuck in the system at this point. And then the lead guitarist is like, melody's out, rhythm is in. And so like their next album, Kid A, is just like
only rhythm.
It's all rhythmic.
Yeah.
It's like the melody doesn't fucking matter. It's all rhythms, which is crazy to me. That's so cool, you know.
Talking about rhythm.
Yeah.
So if you're into metal music, there's 2 types of guitar you can generally get into.
Okay.
You're either going to be a lead person or a rhythm person. And your style will be completely based. You're practicing stuff, like it'll be completely different. You can do both, but you're probably gravitating towards specific one thing. I was a rhythm guy. I love rhythm. I don't like people hear a crazy solo, they go like, I want to do that. I was never interested.
Mm-hmm.
I never learned one song. All I wanted to do was play rhythm and when I'm saying rhythm, I mean relatively faster rhythm. It's not just like chord. Right. It's a lot of like galloping, open notes, finger picking different things.
It's metal rhythm.
Okay, yeah. Lamb of God, huge inspiration. When you talk about undying rhythm, their hands are going 160 BPM for 4.5 minutes straight.
And it's
the forearm dexterity, the hand dexterity that you need is, I can't even do it for 45 seconds.
It's not even that it's 4.5 minutes straight. It's 4.5 minutes straight of also perfect rhythm. Yeah.
I've watched them live multiple times.
Metal is so tight with their rhythm. It's crazy.
Metal is the most underrated genre in music. They're so tight with their instruments. They're some of the most talented artists in terms of how well they know their instrument.
Yeah.
And no one gives a fuck. Except Europe. Europe cares a lot. But over here, it's like no love whatsoever. And they're operating at such a fast pace. You can't even get some singers who sing like slower songs. Can't sing in key. Can't sing on tempo. Live. Let's say whatever genre. Pop, R&B, doesn't matter. Let's say even a high level.
I see.
Even
I see
a high level.
I see what you're saying.
Can't perform without auto-tune, whatever. All that shit's fine. But like, and then you have these dudes coming in, screaming into the microphone, which by the way is very difficult. Incredibly difficult, and it could actually damage your vocal cords if you do it incorrectly. They do it for like 2 hours, and their shows are longer and cheaper. They do for 2 hours, and the band is on point. I saw this band Gojira, actually insane.
Really?
Actually insane. I couldn't believe the level of talent that they were doing.
I've been to one metal show.
And Opeth is the best.
I've been to one metal show.
Ghost.
We love Ghost.
Maybe we'll play some Opeth on the. We'll do. You know what we can do?
We'll get
react to a live show, and I want you to. I want you to watch
2.5 hours.
Yeah, no.
Like
One song.
Oh, okay,
one
okay,
song.
okay,
But
okay.
the song is like 9 minutes, 10 minutes. Metal music. Each song's around 9 minutes. Sorry, I went on a little rant. You inspired me with your inspiration corner because you said all rhythm. I'm a big rhythm guy.
I was in Seattle thrifting and I saw this shirt. And like I could barely make out the letters at the bottom. It was in like this heavy calligraphy. Briag Noafa or something. I look it up. Seattle metal band, like 50 monthly listeners.
Yeah.
I look like a 4-song album. Each song is like 15 minutes. I listened to it. Gas. Incredible. I was like, damn, this is crazy. Like I just found this band.
No, they're all good. I know people that literally perform for no one. Bands that have zero Spotify, zero anything presence. They play so well. They're so talented. I'm like, oh my God, bro. I'm not even close.
Yeah,
I'm not even close.
I mean, it's one of those genres where you have to be like a musician. You have to be a musician's musician.
Crazy part as well, most people in metal music, not everyone, don't read music. Maybe don't even know the notes on the fretboard.
Yeah.
By ear, by feel.
Possible?
It's possible.
That's crazy.
It's not that hard.
That's crazy.
It's not too hard. You get like a feel for it because like you play in certain boxes, the scales.
Oh yeah.
And if you just know where the scale is, you can sort of manage if you have a good ear. But one of my favorite guitarists, also one of the most technically gifted rhythm guitarists of all time for me, Keith Merrill, says he doesn't know how to read music. Says he doesn't know what notes are on the board. If I play the music of this,
no, it's hard for me because I grew up playing the saxophone. But I played sheet music. And so like I kind of cornered myself in where I can only play sheet music. Like some people, they're like, I don't read sheet music. All I can do is play sheet music. I can't improvise at all. I don't know any music theory. He's playing, who is this? Keith Merrill. I like how you held up your phone like a microphone.
not this part. This part.
Okay. Yeah.
But you know what it is? You know what it is?
What?
Look at the switch up. Wow. It's not even if it's complex or not. I think that the taste that they have, just being able to do rhythm guitar, if you have good taste, like it's so hard because it's so easy just to chug one fucking note and make it sound cool. But can you do it in a tasteful way while doing something a little bit different?
Yeah. That was rhythmic. That was also, they were switching meters. So they were going from like 4/4 to like 5/4.
Yeah, he's a maniac.
3/4. It was like, holy shit, that's crazy. That's like jazz, baby.
That's jazz, baby.
Wild. Jazz metal. Hold on. Let me play a little Radiohead just so I get a little taste of it. I just need a little re-up, you know what I mean?
Yeah. I went on a lot of rants.
Is this it? Hold on.
Oh, great vocals.
Simple.
Talented. I love the sound.
Well, let me play this.
Sounds so good.
So you can appreciate this.
Oh man. What is this? This is Radiohead? I love this sound. Wow.
Kid A. Did you hear that? You hear that little reverse riser?
Are we gonna be Radiohead fanboys now?
But here's the crazy part.
No, that was cool. I like his vocal tone.
I think my favorite thing about them is being a videographer. Their music mainly has this element of being cinematic, right? Like all of that was like very cinematic music.
Yeah.
You know, like it can sit in like rock or it can sit in
Have you listened
like
to Tool?
indie.
Tool?
No, the name rings a bell, but I don't think so.
You don't? Oh, you would like them.
Let me say my piece, all right? So they're
Say your
very
piece.
cinematic. So I'll be like driving, just listening to them. Like I was listening to them. I had to pick up my sister to go to the airport today at like 5 a.m.
Mm-hmm.
It's like pitch black out.
Radiohead.
Just on the drive over.
Uh-huh. Are you crying?
Meditative.
Oh,
No,
nice.
I just feel like I'm freaking like in a deep spiral.
I would feel like I'm in Blade Runner. Like I am Blade Runner.
Yeah.
I'm that guy.
Right.
I've seen so much death, darkness. you know?
Yeah. And so for me, like it's so emotive in a way that's like, so antithetical to like pop music. It's so dark. It's so like moody.
I'm big on dark, moody. I
Uh-huh.
always tell people that, like, I don't want to make something sad. Don't fool yourself. Yes, you do. Also, the number one commentary I have with every artist that I work with,
Yeah.
I'm sure you've heard me say this 1,000 times. I'm sure you say this a lot, is the ability to capture emotion through your performance is the difference between like a good singer and just a singer. Especially not someone who's just doing covers. Like you're writing your own music, you're performing it yourself, you're recording yourself. That ability to capture emotion over a microphone without visuals, without anything, is what will make your song sound captivating. That's what will make them sound amazing. Like just his tiny nuances when he's singing, you could tell it's like everything is going into those takes.
Yeah.
Same with the Strokes. I feel the same way when I listen to the Strokes. Every time I listen to them.
Haven't listened to the Strokes.
Another episode.
Here's the thing is like I think the biggest thing with Radiohead is that it's not even for me like an emotion that I can pinpoint. It almost feels like intangible. It feels like
there's a word for that, no?
Deep introspective thought that like the emotions within your brain that like you can't even pull out.
Those
words.
Are nice though.
Like that's like what I'm getting with Radiohead.
Because they put you in a place that you don't feel like you've been there that many times.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, and it keeps that emotion going every time you listen to them. I like that.
It's
I
deep.
like that a lot.
It's deep. And so I'm like just going through this whole thing with Radiohead. And the main reason why it's an inspiration for me, because it's so cinematic, it triggers for me ideas of videos to make and it you know like visuals to make to the music and you know in that way it's inspiring because it's like I want to find a way to craft visually the emotions that I'm hearing sonically.
You know what would be interesting?
What
if you started listening to music as you planned out photo shoots and with whatever given vibe that the model wants,
right? You
sort of listen to music on the way or maybe while during your shoot in one ear, and you can gain inspiration from that to shoot out different ideas.
Right. Yeah. I had that happen actually where like I did a shoot with someone where like the kind of like base level what you're doing for a photo shoot, the music that's playing is house.
Right.
Because it's like, it's kind of poppy, it's dancey.
Keeps energy up.
Yeah, it gets you out of your zone. Like it gets you out of like a funk so that you can pose and like you can feel natural as a model. Right. And then I was doing this photo shoot with 3 guys. For like for jerseys, for like football jerseys.
Oh, okay.
And I'm playing house music and they're like, I wish I had something harder playing in the background. They were shooting BTS. I was like, all right, JID's coming on. So I put on like Dance Now. They're like, fuck yeah. I'm like, this is crazy. And then I just started playing like fucking hard music, like hard rap for like the next like 4 hours straight.
Nice. It worked.
And it's interesting because like the different dynamics, you know, it's like that I love the ability that music has to like cultivate a style
different emotions. And I
and
always
like
say
I even notice that when I'm editing photos, you know, it's like I'll like feel a certain way about an image. I'll be like, this is whatever photo, and then I'll play a song and be like, this is gas.
Also, our ability to listen to music together versus separately, how much better it is when we listen to it together because we have like this less judgmental, just like openness to listening, the listening experience, and we're like way more into it when we listen to music together. You know, like this is fire. Oh my God, like these little nuance, they suddenly become so much bigger than you realize they were the first time. Like maybe you listen to it alone, you know, it's so different. Oh, fuck. Also,
it's because I think that you notice things that I notice, right? Like
maybe I'll
play something. I'll play something with like somebody else. Like I'll play something with my sister.
It's so disappointing.
Who doesn't know like they don't know a lot about music. Yeah. It's like okay, like this is cool, you know. And it's like you're not hearing what I'm hearing.
Exactly.
You know, it's like so that's nice.
That's something I really wanted to say. I completely forgot.
Do you have an inspiration corner of your own this week?
Oh, music. So I was thinking, the same thought that we have on music being able to, you know, induce different emotions. It's very interesting for me to think of music as like, oddly enough, as like a facade, which I say to a lot of people because, for example, and this is a great manipulation technique. When you like, for example, if you're playing music for someone to get them into a certain mood, you're manipulating them.
Sure, yeah,
you know what I mean. There's a certain level of manipulation. So imagine any great moment that you see on either TikTok or TV, cinema, right? And then strip the music away from it, and see what kind of emotion that performance actually has. So it creates like a certain facade of emotion. You know what I mean? Like you can get a very shitty speech and put a very cinematic music behind it and get a really good speech.
Yeah. Like with all that like motivational stuff on TikTok.
Every time I look at something, I think of it without music. And I'm like, oh man, you know, just for fun in my head. Like, I'm just like, it's crazy.
Star Wars, the like wedding scene in Star Wars for...
Which is episode 2.
Is it episode 2?
Where Padme and Anakin...
No, like episode 5.
No, I don't know.
Episode 6. Leia and Han.
Oh.
They get married after? I don't remember. Anyway, a ceremony scene or something. But it's like nothing happens. There's no sound. Like nobody's cheering or anything. It's just the music.
Right.
And then they like strip away the music. It's like terrible. It's like so bad.
They like, you hear them walking away.
Very, very eerie. But
No, yeah. I think about that all the time, and it's great. But I have like this dilemma in my philosophical mind. If what we're listening to is, you know, actually inducing emotion, or are we creating like this fake reality of, you know, whatever the fuck I'm listening to? Like, for example, if I'm playing music and I feel, you know, inspired and whatever, like, is this a way I'm just manipulating myself on a fake level of reality, or am I actually getting like this? Like, it's like, what beat are you, like, what song do you walk the movie of your life to, right? It's like sort of like that. Like, take away that song, are you still happy with your life? Are you okay not playing music? Do you need music to be inspired? Is it creating this false reality for you to avoid your problems or not deal with them, or, you know? You're
so philosophical. That's heavy.
I don't know. I think about that sometimes.
But I feel like
for example, sorry, this is important. Yeah. Sorry if this point is getting across a little weird or confusing, but if you are a runner, do you run to music? And if so, what is the music? Also, if I take that music away from you and you still have to run, let's say 5 miles, right? Is it going to be more difficult? And a lot of people, as far as I've been reading and doing some research on in terms of like neuroscience, if you're able to do those things without any distractions, because you're distracting yourself, or you're motivating yourself to do more, right? Through adrenaline, emotion, whatever.
Sure.
If you take away all those things and you're able to run 5 miles without any music or distractions, you're technically of more of a sound mind.
You sound like David Goggins.
You have a stronger mind.
Yeah.
You have a stronger, more fulfilled mind. So why would you use music? You know what I mean? It's a distraction. Anyway, sorry, random thought.
Yeah.
But I like to think of that in multiple.
I could dive into that for like another hour.
Yeah. Like thinking about that on different aspects of life is what I'm trying to get at. You know what I mean? Like sitting back, listening to Radiohead, spiraling.
Yeah.
Instead of sitting with your own thoughts.
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
You have things you could think about.
Yeah.
Like more than one.
Yeah. I mean, it's complicated because that just is on. It's like on the subject of art as a whole. Like.
Yeah. Exactly.
You know, it's like, do we need like to be emotionally manipulated,
right?
You know, like,
I don't know.
I mean, and then
is it manipulation? Am I using negative, words?
Well, I don't even think it's negative. I think that manipulation holds negative connotations.
Exactly.
But I don't think that manipulation.
Yeah, to manipulate, you can manipulate clay to look like something else. It's just you're altering it. Right?
But I think that it's something for sure. But I think it's the same. Wow.
That's why maybe opposite of inspiration corner, where it's like it's not that inspiring sometimes because like music or whatever. Because I'm like, what's inspiring is other people, that their hard work, their determination, their ability to get through struggle on their own through reading and meditation, and like that's inspiring for me. That's something that I have a much harder time dealing with than sitting and listening to music, even though this is a creative podcast, right? But like to be able to have a strong mind allows you to be free and allows you to like be more creative without the influence of other things.
Right.
So I don't know. That's
very
what I think
stoic
about.
of you.
I do like stoicism. I'm not necessarily a stoic person, but I do enjoy stoicism.
You very much are a stoic person.
I didn't know that.
Do you have inspiration in that sense then?
I think that does inspire me in the sense where like or not inspired.
Well, is there
I'm ambitious to be like that. Oh no, some people that I know that are like that. Yeah, maybe my my family, like a couple people in my family, my cousin, they're more stoic. They're more content with things that are more intrinsically valuable rather than externally valuable. And they're also more content being themselves. They know they're more decisive on what is a priority for them. And I'm not that way. I'm very indecisive. So I can't distinguish what is a priority for me sometimes, which becomes very difficult. And also I'm not someone that prioritizes things and then acts on it. Like someone's like, I don't like eggs, so I'm not going to eat eggs. But I'll be like, I don't like eggs, but I'm hungry and like I don't mind them. Okay, I'll just have eggs today, even though I know they're not the greatest for me. You know what I mean? I sort of have more of that kind of mentality rather than I don't like egg. Oh, my girlfriend's like that. She's very like either yes or no, which is pretty great to know exactly what you want.
Yeah.
I don't know if that answers the question. But yeah, different people. Different people inspire me. I try not to. I love the Matthew McConaughey quote where it's like, I inspire myself 10 years from now. That's who inspires me, which I think about sometimes because I'm like, okay, because I get stressed out, I get anxiety. I'm like, I'll be okay. I'll eventually be okay. This is gonna work out.
Yeah.
And I think about it, I'm like, it has been working out.
Yeah.
I have a job. I make money. I do okay. Everything's gonna be fine. It just needs time. It needs time. Be patient. So myself 10 years from now, the people that I look up to, keeping those relationships 10 years from now. That's sort of what motivates me. To be a good boyfriend, to be, eventually be a good friend to different people.
I had a huge win last night, like that in that concept of like
Really?
looking towards my future self, where like I was assisting my friend
Right, Justin,
in Little Tokyo for the shoot, and it was super run and gun, like very last minute, and I was like reflecting on it while I was there, and I was like, wow, I've really put myself in a situation where I'm, in an enjoyable scenario, like this is something that I really want to do.
Oh, nice.
And like being there and like having a good time, assisting and like helping with lighting, and then being inspired while working, being inspired to shoot and like come up with ideas to shoot, and then like really appreciating myself for like, wow, I've come from Washington doing music to a point where I'm living in LA now, assisting someone on this photography shoot, which is something like
you can really make anything happen,
done,
man. You can make
like,
anything happen
like,
as long as
that was my win of the week, was like me reflecting on the moment, being like, wow, I'm really proud of myself for getting here.
For all the people listening, that you guys have those experiences, but you don't necessarily take them in as that. Those are just like, oh, this is fun, and then you just go and do, I don't know, biology homework, and you're just like doing something completely different with your life.
Right.
Those moments are really important to reflect on, to see what you enjoy in life and how you can make that a job. A really good book, Mastery by Robert Greene, I believe, sort of elaborates on that throughout his entire book, and how to harness that part of your life, so and to sort of push it in a direction of vocation or work, your life's work, sort of making that what you do with your job. And it's not easy. A lot of people won't have the privilege to do it, maybe, even though I know a lot of people that are barely getting by from different I don't know, it's hard for me to exactly come up with excuses, because I know people who don't make excuses that have very little, and by very little I mean the bare minimum. So I think anything is really doable if you have a strong enough conviction. Probably if you're in a tough situation, much stronger than mine, hopefully.
Yeah.
Because I have it's a lot easier being in a capital of music, if you want to pursue music or whatever it is. Like I said, you could be a lawyer, a doctor, and if that's your passion, have the same conviction towards things like that.
Yeah. Do you have any? I think that's a pretty good place.
Yeah, I think so too.
I think we did a good. We really fleshed it out with jumping in and out of that segment.
It's all inspiration, though.
Yeah. Do you have any lasting thoughts? It was a pretty lasting thought itself, but do you have another one?
I don't think so. I think go read that book, Mastery, Robert Greene. Let me look up while you talk. Let me look up the name of that book. It helped me a lot making my decision, by the way. That was, but not just him, but not just the book, but the book itself was great. It was a great tool.
Is that what it is?
Mastery by Robert Greene. Yeah.
Greene.
Yes.
Nice photographic memory. My lasting thought. My mind is blank.
I came up with another lasting thought.
What is it? What is it?
Lasting thought is a rant. Everyone who reads or like listens to motivational self-help people, that is cheap philosophy. That is literally the definition of like a sophist, or like it's cheap philosophy. Go read just like basic stoicism, like the art of war. I don't know. Read basic philosophy and you can get significantly more out of those books than something a little more artificial like a self or a life coach or a self-help. They are literally just taking what people have already discovered in history and regurgitating it to you out of their ass.
That's what they're doing. Like there's no possible way
we're the first ones
that anybody is the first to come up with anything. Like when you go back to the basics of philosophy, it's like you're getting it from the source. Like
Marcus Aurelius Meditations.
And a lot of people like come to these conclusions, like as you develop as a human being.
Yeah.
A lot of people will come to conclusions in their life and think that they're like brand new conclusions.
Oh my God.
That people have made.
That's why I became a philosophy major. I took my first philosophy class. We're going over the basic stoicism, like Socrates. And all the things that we're talking about, I'm like, other people think these fucking things? They have like answers to them. They have like these whole like, I was blown away.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, I'm not the only fucking person thinking this.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I looked at my sister first class. I'm like, I was undecided. I'm like, this is my major. I never changed it. I never even thought about changing it. It was so fun. Yeah, basic philosophy will get you a long way. Read like
Wait, and I love that you recognize that in the same way
18 years
that
old.
you can recognize that no matter where you are or what you're doing, someone else is in that scenario as well. Someone else is going through it.
Someone else is going through it. Yeah.
You know, so like,
and this is a
you are
person
not alone.
from what fucking like 1,000 years ago.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? People had these thoughts.
Yeah.
Don't think you're better than a lot of people from 1,000 years ago.
Your life coach is not better.
Yeah, your life coach is not better than Plato. I can assure you that. Marcus Aurelius' Meditations is a very good basic. It gets a little redundant, but it's a very good basic book to read. That
He's just vibing.
It's his diary essentially.
He's meditating.
He's sort of what meditations is actually like a teaching, a practice. Like I don't know what's the definition of a meditation. Like a study of something.
Like
you know what I mean?
Yeah, like a study of like his
Sorry, I'm a little
feelings or
rusty.
himself,
Like his meditations, but
right, like pondering on something to an extreme.
Sort of. Not
what do
really.
you mean, sort of? Hold on.
Maybe a little more formal. But Marcus Aurelius' Meditations, he sort of writes down his diary and his thoughts on philosophy. He was sort of raised by philosophers, and he was also
meditation, the action or practice of meditating.
Yeah, that's why I didn't look it up. Oh, the second one.
A written or spoken discourse expressing considered thoughts on a subject. Yeah, pondering.
I guess.
Like a deep pondering, I would say.
Yeah, but not like aimless, like intentional.
Right.
Pondering is like sort of
poignant pondering.
Sure.
Speaking of poignant pondering, I just want to say one clarification point from last week's episode. Narek has tried AirPod Pros.
Oh my God, I tried AirPod Pros today. Okay.
Let's hear it.
It's not that I think they're bad.
Mm-hmm.
I still don't think they're even close to worth the money. The noise cancellation is great. The noise cancellation is really nice, actually.
Mm-hmm.
And it didn't even fully fit into my ear.
Yeah.
And it was pretty
good.
Pretty dead.
Yeah.
The sound quality, the build seemed pretty solid. The sound quality
nice.
Was fine.
Fine.
I think that the basic Sony earbuds that I tried, my sister's, were just as good or not, if not better, which were like $150. But I did also do additional research. I realized that right now you can buy one of the highest quality Sony in-ear earbuds for the same price as the AirPods, which is crazy. AirPod Pros.
Right. My vote's still for the AirPod Pros.
Yeah.
I will say.
I understand why someone would want the AirPod Pros. I just think they're pieces of shit. And you shouldn't buy them, especially the normal AirPods. I don't know why you'd ever walk around with those. It makes no sense to me. They don't even fit in anything. They're made for a different species, maybe Neanderthal.
You're a bit of a Neanderthal.
Yeah,
so I
I
think
look
they
like
would
one.
work. They would work well for you.
Thank you, Matchi.
Yeah, great. That was great. I think it was a great episode. One very final thing.
That made me laugh. I thought about it again.
Black Friday is coming up. Are you looking at anything?
I already spent too much money this month.
But like,
I bought a plug-in bundle for like $100. I just bought pedals, plugins.
What's it called? Oh, window shopping. Are you window shopping any Black Friday deals?
No, because I already have a lot of the stuff that I want.
That's good. That's a good feeling though, right?
Yeah, I'm trying to be more minimalist in what I want.
Yeah.
I'm trying to like sort of cut down.
Right. Gear's not everything.
Yeah.
You learned that last week.
Yeah. But if you need to get something like additional microphones and stuff, don't get crazy, honestly. Working in live sound, SM58s, SM57s are great microphones. I'm sure they're going to go on sale. Volt and Scarletts are perfectly good interfaces as well as the SSL.
Volt. Don't go Scarlett. Don't go Scarlett.
The new
please.
Scarletts are different. They're
I don't
nice.
like them. I don't like them.
The SSL 2 Plus that Matchi has is
It's
cool.
okay.
It's
It's
fine.
okay.
It's fine.
No outputs. Besides the two.
But yeah, it's a 2. It's like a 2i2.
Yeah, but that was like 400.
Really?
Yeah,
That's too expensive.
That's why I say don't get it. Exactly.
Wow, that's crazy. But, get something that is just going to get the job done. Be as minimal as possible. Be as compact and on the go as you can. So when you meet with different people, you have everything you need at the tip of your fingers. You can make it sound good with just a pair of your headphones. You know what I mean? There's a ton of good headphones out there.
I like your rationale, but I'm going to counter it. I'm going to play devil's advocate.
Go ahead.
I think you should, if you can, don't go cheap. Okay, don't go cheap.
No, not
for
cheap.
the purpose of being cheap. I just want to say it is very important to trust in yourself and invest in yourself.
Oh yeah,
so
definitely.
Like, both of us have like M1 Pro, MacBook Pros.
I mean, we've both easily spent at least like $10,000.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah, but like if you're starting out and you trust yourself, like if you're getting into music is harder. Like you should have a good computer always. Like
yeah, you don't want your computer to crash.
You
and
always
not
need
be
a
able
good
to
computer.
record people or whatever it is. Computer's a good one. You can finance it.
In photography, it's like it's incredibly easy to rationalize buying like $1,000 camera.
Yeah. If it's $1,000, like way more than 1,000.
Yeah, you can get a good one for 1,000 though.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
Your lens is what matters. But I think like, trusting in yourself is important, and trusting that like what you're spending your money on is good.
Yeah, that's up to you to make that distinction. Don't do it out of the sake of if you think that you buying something is gonna make your sound better,
right?
You're wrong.
That's
talent
too. Yeah.
It's a talent, but reinvesting means that invest in something that will give you a return on your money. That's what reinvesting means. Don't reinvest. Let's say you have your HS5s. Don't buy $3,000 speakers if you're going to be doing the same thing with those $3,000 speakers that you did with your HS5s. Just keep your HS5s. If
I have HS7s, by the way. Don't disrespect my
HS7s.
Yeah, don't disrespect my HS7s.
Yeah, they're fine. I don't like HS7.
They're fine. They're passable.
I'm a mixing engineer though. I'm not a producer. It's a little more different for me. But that being said, that's what I try to think of when I think of reinvesting. So that's why I'm not spending that much money. There isn't anything at this point that I could buy besides my own sound system for live sound that could bring me more money.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty content with what I have, even though I bought a plug-in bundle for $100, but I was really interested in it. I saw a lot of people talking cool stuff. I love them. It's called Safari pedals. This won't be coming out in November probably, but for Black Friday.
We'll push it, maybe.
But Black Friday is important. Throughout the year, if there are things that are essential to you, write them down on a list on your notes section. Purchase them during Black Friday. I do that every year. I used to buy like 20 plugins, bundles, everything on Black Friday, and I'd save it for the entire year. I didn't need it that badly. But once I had it, they were great tools like ProQ, for example. Like, even though that one was fucked up because they only give you like 25% off and it's like $175.
Oh, yeah, dude. It was 25 off this year. I thought it was 50 off last year.
No, dude. It's always been like,
it's
only like
off?
$20, $30 less, which is still like $140 for an EQ.
I got the email today. It was like 25% off. I said, FabFilter, why would you do this to me?
Yeah. Whatever. That's my lasting thought. Just be conscious of what you're doing. Be conscientious.
Yeah. I mean, we've already gone long enough, but I just wanted to say I had a hesitant investment where I bought a light, a photography light. It's called a strobe. And it was not cheap. It was like $350.
Right.
And I was like, man, am I really going to use this? But it's like a foray into a new field because studio lighting is expensive and it requires a lot of experimentation.
Yeah.
And then I was like, am I really going to get my money's worth out of this? And then last night for the photo shoot, we ended up using almost primarily exclusively my 8200.
Nice.
And I was like, great.
You already made the money back.
Good.
Yeah.
I felt good.
And you will purchase things that you end up not needing. I still do that, but you have to make those purchases to realize what is and what isn't important. Don't ever beat yourself up over something unless you put your fucking life savings into something that's absolutely useless, like a synthesizer or something that you don't even have clients and you're buying a $4,000 synthesizer.
Me and the boys with a Juno just chilling. I wish.
Anyways.
That was a great episode. Thank you so much for listening. Thank you so much for watching on YouTube.
We're on YouTube?
Yeah, we are on YouTube.
Oh, shit.
We're also on every podcast platform under the sun. If
you
enjoyed this,
TalkBox.
If you enjoyed this on Apple or Spotify podcasts, please give us a 5-star rating. If you watch us on YouTube,
subscribe?
No, don't subscribe. Don't
fucking dislike it.
Let's get a comment. If you made it to the end, comment on who you think the better person is between me and Narek.
Competition only wields good results. Also, if you have any questions, any personal questions you want to ask us, we are not that big on social media. Yeah. You can probably, even if we were, you could probably easily reach out to us.
We've given some great answers.
There's a ton of people who have messaged us and we give really like good long answers.
Wonderful answers even. Very insightful. I wish me from 3 years ago could have asked me now questions.
I know. I think about that too. But not only like you could set up a Zoom call for advice or whatever. Yeah. We're super welcoming for everything. And we've done that in the past. Yeah. So my Instagram handle is Mixing Waves.
Mixing.waves.
Mixing.waves. Or you can just type in my name, Narek Manoukian. You like that? You like that? Mixing.waves is good. Okay, how about you? Matchi says Obscure Matchi. Matchi, Matchi. Obscure. Right. Look that fucking up. And we don't mess around with actual spelling. Obscure Matchi. Yeah, shoot us a message if you have any questions about anything.
Literally anything.
Or you need help with something.
Creative, inspiration, feedback. No feedback.
Don't give me feedback. I don't know.
You don't want. No, I'm not giving you feedback.
We give each other enough feedback.
Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for listening.
This is TalkBox.
Yalla bye.